I mean, I'm gonna get good look.
You know what's funny? That I told you 27.
Yeah.
27. It's a Monday. What is that?
upstairs? They have one upstairs already?
No. Hi, girl. Yeah, but the family didn't speak.
Yeah, I agree. It's very
They're coming down.
They're coming down. They're on the way.
It's not the back door.
Right, or the two old guy. Yeah.
What up, man? What's going on? Living the dream.
Holy moly, let's go back inside.
Me, myself, I'm short. I'm going to be right here. Alright, y'all got my spot in the front. In the front. Down low. I'm not in anybody's way, am I? Alright, good. Good. So mark this spot for me. No. I'm going to get down there. Okay. How you? Sydney. Okay, I was trying to say, I was trying to call you, but the line was busy. No, I figured you knew.
Just a little.
You did.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, Tyler, you showed me everything.
Oh, yeah.
Did everybody test the mics? Oh, send me all what you got. You want to send it to my email? BBURESS@gmail.com. Hi, April. You can't see me. Hi.
You see me?
They tell you today all the way.
What door are they coming out of? Ain't no door over there,
Do you
right?
see me?
Hold on, y'all. Let me wipe my camera. Don't give my spot away.
Do you see me now? Awesome, thank you. Yes.
I promise to move my head on this side. If there's any family in here, let me.
Say hi to everybody, Steve.
Hey, thanks for firing me.
Thanks for firing. Wait a minute, y'all. Listen, he got fired. Yes, I will. I'm not gonna beat anybody. I'm gonna get. This is what I'm gonna do. Like that. So will I be okay?
Oh, no, you're fine. Perfect.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely. I don't want y'all getting back headshots of me.
Oh, yeah, close it.
Where's CNN? You see it? I need your number before I leave. Before you leave. That's CNN, everybody. I need, because I really need CNN coverage. I might have somebody somewhere.
What's your name? Your shot again?
Definitely don't want the back of my head on CNN. I got to get down.
How far is it go? Right there?
So is that the right angle? Like if so you guys are photographers, right? So if the sun is out like it is now, the best thing is to do is have the sun behind you. So why we all facing this way? You don't want the sun. No, I said just have the sun. All right, the sun behind your camera, so that it doesn't glare. Okay, so that we get a good view. All right. I hope he didn't get stopped on the way in.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You missed the
1,
number.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Anything further on that one? Rob, anything real further?
I'll let him know.
Welcome, Mary Ellen. Did everybody share at least one time? Did they get the word out for Tyre? I need y'all to share the live now.
Hey, they want another mic check. You hear me okay? 10, 9, 8, 7.
Time everybody to show up. I need everybody to share the live video. Go right ahead for me, please. This is the adjustment for Tyre. And also, I need y'all to react to the live, put some hearts, and like, share, and comment. Please, thank you. We need to increase those numbers. Come on, y'all, just input.
I'm doing a mic check. Okay, listen. Green hard line.
I need y'all to like, share, tag, and invite.
Alright.
While we're waiting, but you're not missing much of nothing except for a bunch of cameras going to circulate.
Hey, I'm sorry.
They got their hands on it. And I especially want to say this so that family in California can see it as it's occurring. Else, they're going to live stream it on Facebook or anywhere else in the nation. But we're waiting for Ben Crump. Probably going to walk up to those doors that we all just came from. Because there is no door on that side, so he probably will be coming from here. And hopefully they hurry up because we got 70%. I think I got a battery pack in this phone. Look, I'm getting my knees muddy.
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you hear me? Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yep, we got juice.
A, B, C, D.
Y'all just be patient with me.
E, F, G.
Hold the two devices.
Good. Like there, but you're good.
Hello?
He's coming down now.
It's coming down now.
I sound terrible, they said.
Coming down now.
They say you sound terrible. You don't sound.
All right, Southgate's actually fixing it now. Okay.
Okay. But you can't get in front of me, bro. We don't with you. We don't get you. We don't bang with you. What who you with? Who you with? Daily Method Head Catcher. I'm a little dreadhead. You do?
Yeah, I love you back.
Thank you. We got pictures. Look at Jeremy, always late, y'all.
You write my script for me?
I didn't know if you guys were rolling. If you're rolling, let me know to get out of your way.
What? We good there. Sweet.
How much I got? About here? About here? Yeah, you're good. I might have to do one of these. So I just want to make sure that we get your shot.
I ain't doing none of that. I'm putting my knee on the ground.
Is that better? Do you want me to still keep talking? Okay.
I should have brought some gloves. I did not know it was cold
I
right
didn't
here.
get to have breakfast. I wanted Starbucks
we were
this morning, but it
over there yesterday because I was dressed for like a warm day. And I came to meet y'all at the thing, and then it was like,
if I were to have breakfast, bacon, egg, and cheese sounds great. Is that good? No, that's all
Holy
right.
moly, the air is good
About a sausage biscuit.
in a place that I plan on having.
Calling her now. She answers the phone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How does it sound?
Sound good to me?
All right, that's good.
The people behind me to scoot in some. Yes. Are you still live? Are you live? Oh my God. The back of my head on CNN. I'm famous. At least the back of my head is.
I've accepted I'm going to learn that when I start losing my hair, I'm going to learn by looking at a TV camera and see the back of it for the first time.
Yeah.
I've lived that nightmare.
Ooh, Jesus, the air is hitting the backside. We got the best spot. I don't care what nobody says.
Go low or go high.
Okay, just gonna get muddy, and what I'm gonna do, I'm not even sit because my leg's gonna get. I like the reporter side rather than being on the camera.
Find the camera.
Yeah,
Better than
that's what. Yeah, well, yeah. That's okay. Yeah,
I did that for 2 years. That's why I did it.
yeah. I was trying to see if I could get me a media badge from somewhere. Here they come. Here they come. You see them? Girl, you got a high zone camera. They better move. I don't think no media's gonna rush them.
Sorry.
Because yeah, they don't want to lose their spot.
Down in front. Down in front.
Turn loud, everybody.
Give us just a few minutes. We're waiting for a couple of the media representatives to set up.
It's live or not? I'm not getting told, mate. Well, I think we've got the NBC shot. So do you want to talk about it? Yeah. Oh, what? Of course I will.
Way every shot.
It's coming, yeah. So, let's get out.
have everybody? Everyone ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Yes, we're ready.
Good morning. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Tony Raminucci, Judge Ernestine Doyce, and Attorney Van Turner, who's also the president of the NAACP chapter here in Memphis, Tennessee. Kareem Ali, my investigator, and our legal team. We have the honor of representing the family of Tyre Nichols. Present with us is his family members, in particularly his mother, Rovon Wells, and his father, Rodney Wells, who will give very brief statements this morning in the aftermath of the arraignment of the 5 officers that have been indicted for the murder of Tyre Nichols. Also, it's important to note that this was very emotional, and there were a lot of things that were not said in the courtroom today in the proceeding, but it was a very informative day as we move closer to justice. And our legal team and the family of Tyre Nichols wish to express gratitude to District Attorney Steve Mulroy, Paul Hackman, and the entire District Attorney's team, who is charged with prosecuting this matter on behalf of Tyre Nichols, as they do with every citizen in this jurisdiction. We are again relieved that they have given information to try to dispel some of these rumors and innuendo that we keep being bombarded about, that somehow this was something personal. No, we are aware that there were photographs that were taken and none of them were sent to all of these rumors that are out there in the social media world. The family is dealing with enough grieving the death of Tyre and their brave fight for justice than to have to deal with all these salacious rumors. I know in George Floyd they had to deal with them talking about Chauvin knew somebody who George Floyd knew, and that was the reason he kept his knee on his neck. And then in Botham Jean's case, who was killed in the apartment by the white policewoman, they alleged that they were having some kind of affair, which all were bogus and untrue. And just like with Tyre Nichols, all these rumors that are circulating are bogus and untrue, because we have the text messages. The prosecutors have been able to verify exactly who those pictures were sent to. And so what we want to remain laser focused on is getting justice for Tyre Nichols and being able to define the legacy of Tyre Nichols. And the people who are most appropriate to do that is his mother and their family. So you're going to hear from Rodney Wells, and then we're going to introduce Miss Rovon Wells to talk about how they felt and why they had to be here today for this arraignment of the former Memphis police officers who are charged with murdering Tyre Nichols. And I think it's important to note that even though we want everybody to get due process, we are champions for equal justice and due process. But as Police Chief Davis said, Judge Doyce, it's important that we take swift action. It's important that we move swiftly towards justice, So we don't want there to be any unnecessary delays in prosecuting this case with respect to everybody having their day in court. Those officers get to have their day in court, but my God, Ravon Wells and Rodney Wells get to have their day in court, and we don't want this to be forever. We got video. When people in our community do something on video, it don't take a long time to prosecute them, right, Attorney General?
That's right.
It don't take a long time. And so, first you will hear from Mr. Rodney Wells, the father of Tyre Nichols.
Hi everybody, my name is Rodney Wells. I had to be here today to make sure that justice gets done for our son. This is a glorious day. This is the beginning of the process. So, the statement's going to be very short, and I'm just glad to be here. Our family's glad to be here, and I appreciate everybody coming out.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. And now you will hear from Tyre's mother, Ms. Ravon Wells.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. As my husband stated, this is the beginning of the process. We're going to be here at every court date so that they can know that we're here. They need to, I don't know, I feel, it's funny because I feel very numb right now. I feel very numb, and I'm waiting for this nightmare, basically, that I'm going through right now. I'm waiting for somebody to wake me up, right? I'm really waiting for somebody to wake me up. But I also know that's not going to happen, okay? I know my son is gone. I know I'll never see him again. But we have to start this process of justice right now. And I want each and every one of those police officers to be able to look me in the face. They haven't done that yet. They couldn't even do that today. They didn't even have the courage to look at me in my face after what they did to my son. So they're going to see me at every court date, everyone, and until we get justice for my son.
Ravon, what did you think?
And so, yes.
And note the choice of words that Ravon used as she told Judge Dorsey and us. They didn't have the courage to look me in my face. Not dignity to look me in my face, because when you look at the video, there was no dignity there. But they didn't even have the courage to look at her in her face, and that's what she came to the courtroom to see today. Them look her in her face, eye to eye. How could you do this to my son?
Ravon, what did you think?
All right, we'll take a few questions.
Ravon, what did you think when you heard the words, not guilty?
Well, sir, they're going to say that. You know, that's a procedure that everyone's going to say and do. I'm going to leave it up to the district attorney's office and to get them prosecuted and everything, and then they'll find them not guilty. They'll find them guilty, I should say. So them saying they're not guilty, that's a preliminary thing. Everybody's going to say that. And I was expecting it, so it wasn't nothing new.
Judge Ernestine Dorsey is going to make some remarks before we continue the questions. Judge Dorsey says,
retired Judge Ernestine Hunt Dorsey, and that's not get me out of place, because I want you to know that the process is the process, and I'm about transparency, so that's the first thing I have to tell you. I was retired, but it's good to see the country and the state still interested in what's happening in our community, and especially in the prosecution of this case, because this case is a case that's pretty much going to be a cornerstone. You know, when the builders start rejecting stones, but this is going to be a cornerstone that the builders will not be able to reject. So that is what I see, and the process is.
Can you lay out what you think the next year will be in terms of this case? So the next hearing is in May, and then what is the next?
I can only do it. I mean, I've been a trial lawyer, and I can tell you the process. It's not as swift. It's not as swift as the indictment, but the indictment was the most important thing to get the wheels of justice to truly roll. And so this is going to be processed, and it's not necessarily going to be held up by trying to slow the process. It's just how time is. And so most criminal cases don't come to trial, and I'm assuming this is going to go to trial. That can't tell you how long, but it's not going to be at the end of this year.
Steve, we know, like in George Floyd's case and Ahmaud Arbery's case, that there may be federal charges brought here. And so we want there to be full justice. And so as we look at the process on the state, we understand, just like in George Floyd, there may be federal charges contemplated that may be announced, and then they will take a parallel course. But we know in George Floyd's tragic killing that those officers were prosecuted within the year.
Yeah.
So the hope is that we have a blueprint going forward on all these tragedies. Before we take any other questions, Attorney Van Turner, would you like to give her a remark?
Yeah. We again want to thank Ms. Wells for her courage, Mr. Rodney Wells for his courage. It takes a lot to sit there in the courtroom and to face individuals who took actions that they did not have to take. Nothing that evening that we saw and that you saw provoked them to do what they did to Tyre Nichols. And here we have a family, we have a son that's lost a father, and we just we feel their pain, and we're going to be here with them throughout the way. But let's also understand that this case is going to be a landmark decision, but it also needs to lead to policy. How do we stop this from happening again? The state needs to pass the Tyre Nichols Police Reform Act.
Yes.
We need the governor to sign the bill. The governor bill, he needs to stand up for this family. We want the thoughts, we want the prayers, but we want action.
Yes.
We want this bill passed right now. The Tyre Nichols Police Reform Act. We want them to withdraw the bill to get rid of clerk. The Citizen Law Enforcement Review Board is what we have. That's the citizens' eyes over law enforcement.
Right.
The police can't continue to police themselves.
Right.
So if we are really serious about justice for Tyre, we want to make sure that there's a swift prosecution and that these guys serve the time for what they did, and we want to make sure that there's swift action at the Tennessee legislature. We're passing this bill, and we want them to immediately withdraw the bill that would undo clerk right now, today. We want them to withdraw that bill because that's the citizens' eyes over law enforcement. We're going to continue to pray for this family, and we're going to continue to say justice for Tyre.
Justice for Tyre.
Thank you so much, President Turner, for your leadership. You good? Okay.
Ms. Ravon, since January 7th, your life has been completely upended. Your family's been scrutinized. The whole world has been watching your family. But you've responded with grace and compassion that you owe no one. So I wanted to ask you, what's holding you together right now, and what is sustaining both you and Mr. Wells?
One thing I can tell you is the prayer. I have people reached out to me from all over the world. I have received sympathy cards from people that I don't even know. People are praying for our family. God is what's holding us up. And the fact that, again, I have to always keep in mind that my son was sacrificed for the greater good. That's what's holding me up, and that's what's keeping me together. And the fact that I do have 3 other children that I have to stay strong for. Because if I break down, then they're going to break down. So, me being a mother, I have to stay as strong as I can for my other children.
Mr. Crump, you mentioned the photograph. Yes, ma'am. It was from the year.
The cop said justice for Tyre Nichols will not come at the expense of justice for his client, Desmond Mills Jr. Would the company react to that?
Certainly. The video speaks for itself.
Mr. Crump, you mentioned the photographs that were taken from the scene. Police Chief Davis has said they've been shared with other people. You said the prosecution talked to you about those photographs. Do you know who those photographs were shared with?
Currently, this isn't the first time that particular officer has done this, but we just want to dispel the rumors that the family were being bombarded with, and they didn't want to have to deal with that additional trauma and drama. So we want to clear that up once and for all.
Do you know who they were?
We do not, but they know.
Attorney Crump, can you elaborate on the findings of your internal or independent autopsy results, specifically related to any substances being in Tyre's body that those officers alluded to on that video?
No, we don't have the toxicology yet, but we feel confident that Tyre was not under any kind of intoxication or anything like that. You know, Miss Ravon and Rodney, they know Tyre what kind of person he was. Who Tyre was what you saw in that video. While everybody else was escalating it, using excessive force, Tyre was de-escalating, trying to do everything in his power to